Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're continuing in the Hachaim. We're in Parshat Tetzaveh. Parshat Tetzaveh focuses mostly on the begotten that the Kohanim wear. A regular Kohen wears 4 begotten, whereas a Kohen Gadol wears an additional 4, a total of 8 begotten. One of the begotten which we're going to focus on is called the tzitz. The tzitz had a special property, a special function. That was to help an individual who had a problem with his carbon. There was either tumah or some other issue. The tzitz had this koyach to remove the tumah and effectuate a kapara for the individual. We're not going to learn right now how exactly that works, why Hashem made it that way. That's for a different share. But we're going to discuss the tzitz. Now the tzitz had the name of Hashem, Yud K on one line, and it said underneath it, Kodesh Lashem. Now, it's a very interesting Hachaim, and it's based on a Gemara in Shabbos. How do we know what it looked like? How do we know how it should look like? It doesn't say in the Torah anywhere. So the Hachaim is going to touch Mashma Shekol Mitzias Sheyichtav Kodesh Lashem Kasher. The Hachaim says that any way you would write the words Kodesh Lashem would be permitted. For example, you would write it on one line, Kodesh Lashem. You would write it on 2 lines, Kodesh Lashem. Or you'd write on one line, Hashem Yud K, and then the other one, it would say Kodesh Lashem. All manners that you would write, as the Gemara says, it's not a problem. That would be acceptable. Umash Amr Gemara. What the Gemara in Shabbos Tav Samach Gimel says, Shoyikosov Shnei Shitin was written in 2 rows, Yud K in 1, Lamala, Kodesh Lashem Lamata, Loy Li'ikuva was not mandatory that had to be that way. Well, Lezet Tim Shasham more so says the Hachaim, a famous Gemara. Everyone's busy now. Where are the Kalim and the base of Mikdash? Where is it? What happened to them? So Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Yossi says, Ani re'isi beroimi, I saw in Roim. Now, according to most understandings, this was what today we know as the tombs, the storage houses by the Vatican. Kosev alav kodesh l'Hashem b'shita achas. Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Yossi said that I saw the tzitz, and it was written on one line, Kodesh Lashem. You see that it's not ma'akev. Afilu Tanakama ain't a ma'akev, and even according to the Tana, it's not ma'akev. So the Hachaim points out that the tzitz that needed to say Kodesh Lashem, right, was not ma'akev in the way it was written, and it's very important because if it was not written correctly, then it wouldn't be able to help the individual get a kapara. And what's fascinating, as the Hachaim quotes the Gemara in Shabbos, the Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Yossi said he actually saw the tzitz. There's a similar Gemara in Yuma where it describes where one of the Tanaim said, or the Amoraim, that he saw the paroiches and he saw the blood that the Kohen Gadol would sprinkle on Yom Kippur. Right, when we say achas, achas v'yachas, achas v'shtayim, achas v'shalosh, he saw that the paroiches in Rome. It's a very fascinating thing. A lot of people want to discount the fact that the Romans put and took all the kelim. We know from the famous Arch of Titus where the menorah is. That's a big machloikis in and of itself. Is that the real depiction of the menorah or not? Then zaytige teretz. We move on now to the next Hachaim that will be found also in Perek Chav Ches, but this is now pasuk Lamed Ches. L'rotzen l'fnei Hashem. Tzarich l'das. Ma inyan yagidu beis tevus elu. What is these 2 words? Shebahem yeh l'rotzen l'fnei Hashem. What is these 2 words? Now we discussed in the beginning of the shir that the tzitz had a special koyach. The Hachaim wants to understand what exactly is this koyach. Why does it work? Now, how it actually works, the mechanics of it, we're not going to discuss, but we're going to discuss what happens. What is ma'orer in Shemayim when the Kohen Gadol wears this, and it's a beautiful thing. When it says Kodesh, it refers to Klal Yisrael. When the Kohen Gadol wears the tzitz and it says Kodesh Lashem, it's to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu that Klal Yisrael is Kodesh to you. Have Rachmanis on us. Be Mekabel, accept the Karbonis of Klal Yisrael, even if there's a Tumah. Ka'aymer Kodesh Yisrael. The Tevis Lashem Yirtzah Ki Klolus Yisrael HaNikram Kodesh Hem Lashem Chashukim Udevukim Mushubuadim Lezeh. As we see from here that we are connected, we are devoted to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? And this idea that we are connected and we are davuk to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, and we are devoted, but in our avodah and in our learning and in our Mesiras Nefesh, that generates tremendous nachas ruach to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, and through that Hakadosh Baruch Hu generates the, so to speak, the ratzon through our action. Not that Chas v'Shalom Hashem doesn't need our actions, but we generate the ability. That's the way Hashem created the world, is through our actions, through our ma'asim tovim and our mitzvahs. HaKadosh Baruch Hu then has this ahava to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as it says, Ani l'doidi v'doidi li, right? As the Hachaim explains. What does it mean, Ani l'doidi v'doidi li? When we take the first step and we initiate, it creates a tremendous yichud in the olamas, because we have the ability, we don't realize that our actions have a tremendous effect in the upper worlds, l'tov u'l'ra. And when we take the first step, whether it's to do tshuva, to start learning, to start davening better, that generates a tremendous yichud in the olam ha'emes, which then brings it back down into this world. As it says, sheyesh l'rotzon b'Yisrael be'emsus ha'kosav v'zehu soy. That is the secret in Shir Hashirim, ani l'doidi u'bezeh yitartze doideli. But when we turn to Hashem, Hashem created the system, then Hashem turns to us. Right? When we take the first step, Hashem says, okay, I see you're serious. And if Hashem sees that we're serious, then automatically Hashem will turn around and bring serious. Right? When we do an action in this world, we actually are able to create a reaction that comes back into this world. That's why when we learn Torah, when we do Ma'asim Tovim, good things happen to us, because it goes up to the Olam Elyon and then it comes back down and helps us. So we see here the effect that the tzitz has is to ma'orer Hakadosh Baruch Hu's rachmim alav, by the understanding that we are kodesh to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, and ken yiratzon that we should continue to take steps befrat the Yom Tovim that are coming up. We should continue to be zeicher to see ultimate rachmim, and we should be able to see the ultimate geula with the Kohen Gadol wearing the tzitz on his head.